go over there.
All right, well, Dede, show me which way you want the trail to go from here. Back around the septic field.
No, this way.
This way? All right, show me.
It's gonna go this way.
Just a warning, the first half of this video is a little bit long with Davis and I scouting out where the trail is going to be. It's pretty funny to watch him discovering animals and paw prints and things like that. But if you want, you can just kind of fast forward to the middle of the video to see the actual cutting. While looking around the prospective trail site, Davis found some prints of maybe some bear and definitely some deer. So right now, we're doing kind of a survey of our existing trails. Getting ready to cut some new ones.
Dada, let's jog.
Let's jog? Oh boy. All right. So this trail has been cut for a while, and I'd love to expand so we get a perimeter. The first thing you do when kind of setting up a trail system is to eyeball everything, kind of walk around and figure out where they're going to be. And of course, they're always going to be in a different spot than that once you really got going. So this is the end of where I practice with my deer rifle. Got a little deer stand here, and Davis loves playing with it. So there's Davis enjoying the view. This thing is nice because if you do practice with your rifle, you can shoot down this line here, and you're always shooting downhill. You can't really see it, but you're also shooting into a pile of dirt by the pond, so you have a berm too. The trail doesn't go much beyond this point, so we're going to do a little surveying. So this here is kind of between the shooting line and where you sit to practice. And I've started this trail. When we rented the backhoe, Davis and I crushed a bunch of stuff to make it a little more simple, a little less pain in the butt. But it's really not a done trail. We just got things knocked out of the way and made a little bit of room. Show me where the trail goes. Davis is sporting his bat costume from Halloween 2 years ago. It seems like a good hiking outfit to me.
I can like ride over.
You see all those deer tracks right there?
Did I heard something?
We heard something?
Yeah. This way.
So getting a little sidetracked from trail surveying, Davis just followed some deer tracks and we found this little bedding area, which is pretty cool. This is where deer go to sleep, Dede.
How do you know?
Just see how it's kind of crunched down and there's a bunch of deer tracks everywhere? So we're kind of at the end of the trail where it breaks out to meet the grass. This fence line back here is actually a beagle training area. So I want the trail, instead of following that grass, to kind of go into the woods. So we have to find kind of a natural way for it to go. You can kind of see here, there's a big opening. It's a lot easier to just go the way the trail wants to go than to cut through large trees like these ones. So Dede, what is that?
I don't know.
It's a skull.
What's a skull?
Like a bone.
Can I pick it up?
No, it might be dirty, but maybe it's like a rabbit or maybe a little deer. I don't know. This is where the new trail, I'm kind of walking along to figure out, crosses an existing trail. Where does this trail go to, Day?
This trail.
But where does it go back to?
I don't know.
Okay.
Get a pond.
The pond, right. Now we're behind our little pond. You can see these tires. They were kind of semi-buried, unfortunately left by the previous owner. I'm gonna load them in the truck and get rid of them. The trail is gonna kind of cut through here, right behind the pond, giving us access to the pond. And it's gonna follow along here. And that way we've got a little opening and somewhere to play in the pond. What do you think, Day?
What?
We could come here to play in the pond?
Yeah.
On the back end of the pond, we got all this lumpy dirt. Hey, Davis, why is this dirt lumpy?
Because we put a backhoe.
We dug it up with the backhoe to make the pond bigger. So I will have to kind of flatten this a little bit. I've got a plow kind of device I can use on the four-wheeler, hopefully, or maybe borrow a neighbor's tractor. In our previous escapades, we rented a backhoe. We expanded the pond quite a bit here. You kind of see it just needs to be flattened out a bit. So I won't walk you through the whole property, but you can kind of see the trees ending there. And I want to take the trail about 10 feet inside the tree line and continue following all the way around And I've already walked this once or twice, so I have an idea where the trail's gonna go. You can see Davis on the little hill. So now that we have an idea of what we want to do, I'm gonna get started with the actual cutting. You see all the poop here? The white stuff?
Yeah.
So why do you think there's a bunch of poop in one spot here?
Because deer live here.
No, I think it's something from a nest. Let's look up. You see anything? Something's living here.
I think I see something.
You see something?
See that pine straw up there?
Where?
Up there. I think a little nest is up there.
So Davis got a pickaxe. It's really more of a garden trowel thing for Christmas. And he's using it to climb the mountain, which is pretty funny. In the meantime, I'm going to reorganize my tool trailer.
You can see sometimes when you dig on, sometimes the clump falls off you dig into. Just need to dig into just the right spot to climb. Oh, see that thing up there? I'm gonna grab onto that. Oh!
Just through attrition, the trailer's kind of gotten unorganized. I'm going to sort through and get back to the base of what I really use here. This is everything kind of pulled out, and I'll go through it real quick. I did another video where I kind of went through each piece very carefully and explained everything. And this is kind of the stuff I pulled out that I accrued over time. I don't really need in it right now. I've got my tow strap for my truck. It just needs to go back where it belongs, my diesel can, things like that. So I'll start over here. And it's just pieces of rope that I've managed to acquire, build up. You always end up needing it for something. I got some shackles, so when I use my tow chain or pull stuff, these tools are the ones I've just ended up kind of finding are most useful for tightening things or cutting wire. I've got a chainsaw and a couple of zip ties. You can see here, I've got some marker flags. That's been pretty useful because if I'm working with someone, they don't know where the trail's going or I've forgotten where I want to put it. You know, it's just an easy way to know where I'm going. I've got my bush axe. I've got some bug spray. And the white bottle is like a lotion you put on before you get exposed to poison ivy. I think it works. It's hard to say. IVX. And then inevitably you're going to run into a wasp nest somewhere, so it's nice to have some spray there. On the tool side, I've got the chainsaw and all the various stuff that goes with it, including my helmet, Kevlar pants. You always want to have an extra chain, sharpening tools, and the infamous chainsaw tightening tool. Probably need to buy about 10 of these. Along with the chainsaw, I've got sledgehammer and felling wedges if something gets stuck. I still have my hedge trimmer here. It really doesn't get as much use as I used to. I'm just not in such a thick, tight stuff, but when I need it, it's really helpful. So I still have my hedge trimmer, or string trimmer, weed whacker, whatever, with the bush blade. This really is the workhorse. I get most of my stuff done with that. I've got a regular string trimmer, or a lighter weight one. This one I'm actually not going to keep with my trail cutting kit. I bought this just to actually trim normal grass around the house. And of course, you've got to use the 2-cycle fuel. With the string trimmer, or the bush blade, it's so heavy. It really is nice to get one of those harnesses so you're not carrying the thing the whole time. Sitting in the actual trailer, I've got a generator. Sometimes I need to use electric power tools. It's pretty convenient. Drop cord and grounding stuff. And on the four-wheeler, I always keep some extra water and a knife. This is the Mora Bushcraft knife. This is pretty much the best knife you could have for working on trails or just getting work done around the yard. It's like 15 bucks and pretty much indestructible. And if you do break it, it's 15 bucks. Then I got my holders for my various machetes. A bucket that I just throw trash in as I find it. And grabber so that I'm running the four-wheeler. And I see trash on the ground. You can just grab it without dismounting. Make things a little bit quicker. A pair of gloves. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to put everything back together. So we're continuing to organize. Davis is continuing to climb the mountain. And these guys have come over to hang out. All right, so we're finally organized. Like I was saying before, 80% of your work is going to get done with the brush blade and a chainsaw. And there's a fair bit of periphery that goes with a chainsaw, the tools, the helmet, guards, things like that. Yeah, Davis is adding a tool there. Then I just have backup things, extra tools. I've kind of got some of these old grocery bags to keep it a little bit organized. And I've added a couple of bungee cords just because when I get moving, everything likes to rattle to death. So I think this will be a little bit more efficient. And there's the goats.
What about this?
That's all junk I took off of there that I don't need anymore. We're out on the trail today getting some work done. Got the four-wheeler and everything set up. You can see I kind of crushed this with the excavator, the backhoe. So I've got a passable trail, but I've got some large trees that I'm hitting with the chainsaw first. Relatively large. Larger than I want to hit with the bush blade. So I got to hit these with the chainsaw, and then I'm going to come back with the bush blade. It's always up in the air whether I go first with a chainsaw or first with the bush blade. Sometimes it's easier to use the bush blade to get the little stuff out of the way so it'll get tangled up. And sometimes it's easier with the chainsaw. You just kind of have to read it. But let's get some work done with the saw first. I got my camera wedged up in a tree, so we'll see if this thing holds. Got cut-proof gloves for what they're worth with a chainsaw. I know they'll stop a machete, but I don't know about the saw here. Always start your chainsaw on the ground. It's always a temptation to go like this number, but if you miss, you can cut your leg. I was swinging my chainsaw around walking and actually nicked my leg once. I was wearing a pair of waders and put a hole in them, so even just brushing your leg with a chainsaw, if it's not running, can do damage. So on the ground. So dragging stuff off the trail, getting rid of everything you cut, I swear is about half the time you spend clearing trails, and honestly, half the energy, if not more. Kind of got an incomplete cut here. I used to cut sticks a lot longer, but I found it's really annoying to move heavy pieces of wood versus just taking a couple of extra cuts with the chainsaw. What's up? You cut that down?
No, I just put my bone on it and it just snapped down.
Oh, well, thank you. A trick I found when you're getting junk off the trail is to always put it on the same side of the trail. So if you're always putting it on the right of the trail, keep doing that for the entirety. If you ever want to expand the trail and you've thrown stuff on the left and the right, then you'll find that you have to go through trees you already cut down to expand things. But let's say I throw everything on the right side of the trail. If I want to make it bigger, I can always cut on the left without running into trash. So apparently another method of trail cleaning, if you're man enough, is just to push the tree over by sheer willpower alone. How's that working, Day?
What?
Knocking the trees over.
What?
I've cleared a bit of the trail here, pretty much up to where I left my saw. That's what I've done with the chainsaw. Kind of hard to see there. So now I'm going to follow up and hit it with the bush blade, kind of clear out this scraggly stuff. You can see the bush blade made pretty quick work of all this. In the video before, I was kind of swinging it around. I know it looks a little bit dangerous, but I found if you kind of pop the things you're trying to cut through, rather than saw through them, you get some momentum up on the blade and just kind of snap at it. It'll cut through a lot better using the big sweeping motion. This thing is a giant spinning blade, so I like to wear my chainsaw pants. And it's a long stick. The string trimmer is the extra long one. So the chance of me swinging that thing around and actually catching myself is pretty low. But you do want to be careful. So now I got to drag all this out of the way and keep on heading down the trail. All right, going to do a little bit more clearing. Yes, Day?
No, I was gonna. They didn't stay out there for a little more. They just ran their fence a little.
I could see they followed you. So my poor bush blade here needs a little carb work or something. Hopefully if I run it through a tank of gas, it's gonna run a little more smoothly, but we'll see. Might have to take it to a little small engine place, get it running better. Reviewing that clip, it looks like I need to angle the camera down, get a little more wide angle so you can actually see what the blade is doing. So I'm gonna go past the chainsaw a little bit and maybe get a better example of what the bush blade is cutting. We're out of gas, and so hopefully a new tank's going to fix the problem. I've got this gas here, which is steel premix. When I bought my other string trimmer, they had a deal going on, or if you bought this stuff, they give you a double warranty, you know, like from 2 years to 4 years on the string trimmer. So I went ahead and got it. It's like $25 for a gallon of gasoline. And gasoline's running like $3 or $4 right now, so it's insanely expensive, but we'll see. Maybe it'll help out. It is high octane. It's already stabilized. It's got the oil pre-mixed. So see if it runs a little bit better. Hopefully I haven't violated any international law by putting steel gasoline into a Husqvarna. I've got it all primed up, and we'll see if we'll get a start here. All right. Maybe it was just the gas. Probably just had bad gas in there. I guess they could use the steel gas and the Husqvarna. They're both orange. I'm not going to say $25 a gallon is worth it. This thing is running like a different piece of equipment. And I usually keep my gas pretty fresh, so who knows. Sometimes when you're working on the trail, you're kind of scouting ahead. You don't really need power tools. You just got to get some stuff out of the way. This is my 27-inch Panama or Latin style machete. Like that little piece I dropped with the bush blade earlier, kind of hung up here. So, you know, just getting it out of the way with one chop is sometimes nice. And you really can do a lot with a machete. Obviously, power tools are better, but You know, if you're just on the trail, you're kind of deep. What's up, Day?
The goats might eat that.
They might. Let's see if I can get this one out of the way. All right, stay back, Day. There we go. Oop, missed. So we've made pretty good progress on the trail so far. A little bit more woody. And so I'm shooting to take the trail all the way out here. So I'm gonna get that cut and then let you know the progress. So a good machete do a lot of work. But of course, swinging this thing all day long is exhausting, so power tools are nice. I figured I'd do like a 2 seconds maintenance project while I'm working out here. So tightening your chainsaw blade. Now I've let this get so loose that it's about to throw the chain. I've done that on purpose just for demonstration. So you take this tool here, your chainsaw tool, and you loosen these guys. And once it's loose, you don't want it too loose where the bar is going to fall out and it makes it floppy, makes it really hard. Just loose enough where it's going to start to slide. And righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. You can see as I turn this thing, I tighten up the blade. Now, you can over-tighten the blade. Now, careful, it might be warm day. Hang on, you don't have gloves on. Might be, you can over-tighten the blade to the point where, let me do it.
What happens if you over-tighten it?
The saw won't run well, so I probably haven't tightened it that much. This is probably about where you want it. Probably still too loose. All right, Dad, I don't want you to touch that without your gloves. All right, cranking it down too tight. There we go. So I can't even move the blade here. And when you do that, it's gonna bind. It's not gonna run well. Now, back it off just a little bit.
Can I touch it when I have this on?
Yeah. And so I got a little bit of slack. I can't really pull it out of the track. That's about right. You want to tighten these guys up. And I found,
I can really get it out.
instead of cranking them both down, kind of doing them back and forth, gets it on there a little better. All right, don't touch that. And you can tell as soon as you start to saw if it's too tight. Kind of sounds funny. It doesn't want to run. All right, so let's try it out. So on, it's already hot, so I don't need to prime it. I'm going to use 2 hands here to get it going. So hang on. There we go. All right, just right. Here's the final product. We did about an afternoon of cutting. Had a buddy come by and visit, so didn't even cut all day. Or not even close to all day. So we started here where we parked the 4-wheeler. And coming around. And I think it'd be more obvious if it was summertime, everything would be more green. What I did is I cut up to here and actually doubled back. The reason I did this is it just gives me a turnaround for the 4-wheeler. The 4-wheeler has a pretty bad turning radius, so it's nice to have a place to get it swung around every so often. Come back around here. A little camping area, hunting area. And won't stall anymore. We'll go down the actual trail. He wants to get out of here now.
Yeah.
Duck. All right. Now, most of the work I did was with the chainsaw. Came back with the brush blade. Now, I'll full disclosure, this was the trail that I originally took the backhoe down. Basically, I just kind of smashed a bunch of stuff so I could figure out where the trail was going to run. It was so thick I couldn't see anything. Now, backhoe didn't remove any material, just kind of flattened it. So I still had to cut it out. And you can see, waiting for this car to go by, I'm still throwing all my material from the trail on the right side. The reason for this is it makes it easier to expand it. And also on the left side of this trail, again, because it's winter, it's harder to see, are blackberries. This comes right up behind my blackberry briar patch. So you can get into the blackberries here, and that is awesome. Keep following the trail. So this trail is exciting to finish. It's been a while, and I finally got to this corner of my property. Now I'll be able to start hooking in to the right here a little bit. There we go. Look at that. I'll zoom in. There's a whole bunch of turkeys. Look at that. That's crazy. And a white turkey. Wow. I definitely love living out here. Well, that was cool. And here's my trail coming in. Again, this will be way more obvious in the summertime. Thanks for watching. And if you guys have any questions about cutting, suggestions, whatever, just let me know.